Howdy everybody, welcome out to the Highlanders Nations Cup number 4. Here tonight we are going to see a great matchup between USA and Norway. It's going to be a wonderful match here, I believe on Process and a Koth map, which is brand new to me. I'm joined out here by the lovely Hildreth, who's going to be casting with me, and John on camera. How are you doing tonight, Hildreth?
Oh, I'm good. I am good, man. I've been looking forward to seeing USA play all tournament.
Yeah, I mean, they've shown pretty decisive wins early on in this. I mean, I think everybody had them obviously going to getting out the group stages and going past that. Norway, how do you feel about Norway tonight? Do you think that they have a chance to potentially contest, at least maybe get some points off of USA tonight?
Honestly, I think USA have to be the favourites here. I know that we talked about last year briefly, pre-game, Sigafoo. And actually, when you actually look at the performances last year, Norway got to the semi-finals and came fourth. USA were knocked out in the quarters. We knocked out both of these teams with England, I should happily point out.
Just going to casually just drop this bit of information. Not really relevant in any way, but I'm just going to still say it, just got to drop it in there.
It's slightly relevant in that, well, England winning isn't relevant, but the fact that Norway actually came fourth is very relevant because they actually finished a higher place, so in theory, if you think about it, they should be favourites. But USA, the American team, they won the Second Nations Cup. They're America. What more can you say? They have the biggest talent pool to pick players from. I know they have the ping disadvantage and they're playing early, but still, they have to be favourites.
America dominates in soccer because they have the bigger, selection of people to choose from, right?
Well, at least in female soccer, which I've never.
There you go. We got that going for us. But no, yeah, I mean, definitely America very strong. I think it's a little bit of a different roster from the last season. A lot of K&D players, mostly K&D players. I think there's a couple people. Yosh is from MTS. A couple non-Highlander players, or at least nobody's on a team like Bobby on Soldier. I don't believe Blues is a starter for any team, or Steel, the Pyro for America here. But I think the difference is that K&D in particular tends to be a very dedicated team. They really, give it a proper go, and they really they won last 2 seasons in North America, and I think they are doing. Also, isn't it Kresnik and Nursey who play in EU as well?
Yeah, Kresnik and Nursey played Promotech this season. They did come top 3. There was a point where they looked pretty good odds to win it, but they just fell out in the playoffs. But both of them have shown what they can do in Europe, so they are used to playing on the ping. They might be familiar with some of these players as well on the Norwegian team. Yeah,
I mean, it's. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I think that gives you a little bit of advantage. I mean, having played in the Nations Cup myself, definitely you need to have a little bit of practice, playing in it, just because it does help you. It just gives you that little bit more confidence, because it is a little bit weird to take a shot and then not hear it register for a little bit. It's a little bit delayed, which always kind of throws me off at least.
That was always my excuse for dropping Uber when I played in America.
I like it. See, there you go. Everything's adding up. So then on the scrim when you're demo man the other day and we lost, that was your fault too. Can I blame that on you? In the ping?
There was definitely the 130 ping. Yes, definitely.
Yeah, so you have currently 18 in server, but I think 10 are on the USA. So I think Gompy.
Yeah,
you know
Gompy.
Who that is? Gompy.
He's. I don't think he's a Highlander player. I think he's more of an old school Norwegian dude. I think he plays Soldier. I'm not sure. I think he'd probably be their Soldier choice. Gompy. I know he played last year for Norway, previous seasons. I've seen him around.
Yeah, so we already are kind of talking about. I don't know. Do you want to? You can finish your thought.
I was going to say you're probably going to ask me. Should I tell you a bit more about Norway?
Yeah, why don't you go over the roster and kind of talk about the players a little bit?
I'm not going to be 100% on who they're going to use at which class. They didn't give me the roster beforehand like USA did. But I think some of the key players that. I think it's more key to see that some of the players that are missing rather than who's playing for Norway. Ace is meant to be their captain and their medic. He's not playing. I think they got Arcades. He's coming in. I think he's their vice captain. The most successful player in terms of individual accolades, Lazy Bear, the chess club scout, isn't on the roster at all. I think that must be something to do with time constraints because it can't be about ability. He'd be the natural pick for them. otherwise. So I think Fanny's going to play scout for them. Pistolvania will play sniper. That'll make sense to me. The other big name missing is QNX. Like, he is one of the best sixes, Norwegian sixes players. I think he is the best. He's a really talented player. He's played for Dogs TF this season. They came 4th in sixes Prem. Not having him on man like he has been previously will be a big miss for Norway. Polo is probably going to be their most dangerous player, the spy for Premtech, but like I said, Nursey and Kresnik will know all about him.
Yeah, I'm sure. Well, you know, the big spy plays. Yeah. Is there any other notable people out of Norway, or any other people that kind of stand out to you, or should we switch over to the American side?
Well, Zimmer plays. I think Zimmer plays engineer. I don't know if they're going to use him on NG, but really, this is there's a few like Prem players in there or ex-Prem players like Fanny, but most of them are kind of like low Prem, high level. They're not really on the level as the Americans.
Yeah, so on the American side, I think I know pretty much who they're going to be using tonight. They had one leave the server here. Oh, Jarrett's still in here. So we're going to have, I believe, Blues on Scout, who is, I believe, on a backup for K&D, but I played with him in Pugs and stuff, and he is still just as good. Definitely a very solid scout. Bobby on Soldier. I believe he's aliasing now, but he is also just a very solid soldier. He doesn't play, again, not a starter on any team this season, but still very good soldier. Steel on Pyro, who I actually don't know at all. We're going to have Jarrett on Demoman, who's a Demoman for K&D.
Katsy's playing Pyro, isn't she?
Unless I have my thing wrong. Maybe I do. Let's see. That might be Katsy. Maybe I do have my thing wrong. Haha. Yes, that is Katsy. You're right. Okay, sorry. I for some reason my thing got messed up. I'll have to go fix that. My HUD's messed up right now. And then Jared. Yes, we got Jared on demo. Kresnik on heavy, or Bobby as the other Bobby, but we'll call him Kresnik to keep it simple. Very good heavy. On engineer, it's gonna be Spamfest. Very solid. Nursey on medic. Yosh on sniper, who's been an absolute beast. We'll see if that carries over in the EU servers. And then Demento on spy, who's an incredible spy. I mean, like, he can be like a little bit slow sometimes, but I mean, like, when he's on fire, like, he can absolutely destroy. Obviously, he plays more of a revolver spy, which I respect. I like spies which are not ambassador spies. I think it kind of brings a little bit more interesting gameplay than just going for ambassador headshots and stuff like that. So very strong roster overall for America here.
Thing is, this is like maybe not every player, but like a large portion of this team, you'd probably pick them anyway if you had to pick a Team USA. I mean, notable people like Satan, I don't know whether you'd put him in the team, but like Yosh, seen him on Sniper, he is a beast. Like, I'd be afraid of him. I know we were really afraid of Max 2 years ago, but this Yosh guy, I'd be afraid of him if I had to play against him tonight. Can you tell me a bit more about some of the players that we might not know much about in Europe? Because some of our audience might not be watching the UGC season. I mean, we mentioned Yosh, but there's also people like Demento, who might be unknown, or Blues. The Jarrett Kresk combo are from K&D. And Bobby, yeah. I think he's K&D, isn't he, as well, Bobby?
Yeah, I believe the backup for K&D. I'm trying to remember if the last time I've seen Bobby actually play in, like, as a starter on a team. I think he's more of a sixes player. If I don't know his background super well. Again, I know like if it's mostly six, or if it's a sixes background. I'm not too familiar with it, but I have played all these guys in like Pugs and stuff like that. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, if he's the Bobby I'm thinking of, he's the one I played with on the UBS before.
Yes, I think it might be him.
Quit American TF2 finally.
yeah. I think that might be him. So I think the last time we played was like as a starter. It was a couple seasons ago. But I mean, yeah. I mean, the big. I mean, Demento. He's been kind of. He's been a spy who I think I've always had a lot of respect for. In terms of just spy play, I think that he kind of plays the class in the, if you will, in the correct way. Like, I just think he's smart. Like, whenever I was an engineer having to play against him, I always did not look forward to it, because I always knew that there's different kind of spies. There's spies who are bad. There's spies who will just purely go for ambassador headshots and stuff like that, and they're gonna have a good day or a bad day. But Demento was always one who just was like he kind of knew what he had to do, and like he never really had usually crazy games, but he's always a thorn in your side. Like he never really had a bad game at the same time. And he was pretty good with that. Katsi on Pyro, she's been a long-term MTS player, been on it for many seasons. Just all-around smart player. As looks like Norway is kind of delaying up this game from what I'm getting some word here.
They've got players AFK by the look of it. I didn't. I remember playing with Katsi when she was in UBS as well. As one of those people. But I'm being told, by the way, through chat that Bobby is not the UBS Bobby. It is a different Bobby.
Okay.
So there's too many Bobbies in this game.
Yeah.
I'll just get an original name like Sigafoo. It'd be so much easier.
Well, see, Bobby, the heavy for K&D, also known as Kresnik, changed his name to Kresnik. So it's like. He did that. He's like, there's too many Bobbies. I'm going to change my name to Kresnik to fix this situation.
The thing I like about Kresnik, I should say, I played with him when he was in gold. He is a really dedicated player. Like, I know he practices a lot, thinks a lot about the game, but from when I played with him, like the way he commed, some people could call it overcomming. Depends on your type of team environment, but he really like puts a lot of thought in everything he does. So to see him come in and win 2 UGC Platinum seasons, and that's no mean feat, because there are like some good teams with good players in UGC Platinum even these days. Like MTS are around, DK, and last season like Hateful Eight, teams like that. To win 2 seasons in a row is probably one of the best achievements you could get in Highlander, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I don't know, you've had more experience playing against Kresnik.
Yeah, he's one of the best heavies I've ever come across. There's not a lot of I've played against a lot of good heavies. I mean, basically to be in Platinum, you have to be good heavy, but there's not a lot of heavies who dedicate and learn the skill and get their tracking down. And usually I can tell this as like an engineer, it's like whether or not I'll engage in a 1v1 against you, because if you're a good heavy, like I can usually win that fight, just because your tracking won't be good enough by the time I can kill you. He reminds me of the old heavy Arthur, in terms of just skill set, where it's just like if you got near him, you're dead. Like if he's revved up and he is anywhere near you, and you like try to engage in him, you're dead. Like you're gonna die, because he's gonna track you so well that you don't have a chance. And I think that's kind of like Kresnik has kind of built up that skill set, and as I said, I think he's the best heavy. And as we are actually coming in here on finally the round gets started here as we get the Devilman coming out to the mid fight here, so we get caught up chatting. But it looks like both Devilmen coming out pretty much at the same time.
Yeah, one thing to mention is Norway have been made to ready up 8v9 because their players DC'd and time is ticking. But they actually got the first kill. Pistolvania actually outsniped Yoshi, bigging him up in the pre-game. But they've actually lost a few of other kills. Look at this position, USA have all of it. The numbers playing a part. The Blues have just cleaned up 2 people, so pretty easy first mid, but Norway have kept their medic alive, so they can hold last.
Yeah, so here we go. I mean, they're backing up all the way. They probably want to just get back up to last. I mean, the biggest thing is they need to keep arcades alive here on the Norway side. Keep that Uber charge even, at least so USA can't run all the way through. You got to keep them alive. And this will at least get, as Norway is getting the respawns, give them a chance to be able to at least defend this last point, as they are currently a player down. But, on the same side, normally in America, I would say that's kind of a bad thing, but, America, they're playing right now in the middle of the day. A lot of them usually have stuff to do, and to be held up so much as we got K&D finally pushing into this far right-hand side. Uber does come off onto Nursey, who's popping it through. Everybody's running up this right-hand side, actually getting high ground as Delman Jarrett's trying to get across the point. Uber is popped off from Norway, still up. A much better Uber, but not able to find any real kills. Yosh and Jarrett do go down, so that is going to be in the favor. Engineer and Scout are behind. Actually, Medic's going to be caught out here as Engineer and Scout try to get onto the point. Scout gets headshot. Nice snipe by Pistol right there, and USA is going to have their first failed push into this last point.
Yeah, they did manage to pick up the medic. Did they at the end?
No, they didn't. Actually, both medics stayed alive throughout all of that.
That was clutch headshot. Didn't actually doing a repush as well, off the spawn, because they know USA have later spawns. So that's really good play from Norway to come back from that 8v9. And Nursey goes down as well.
Yeah, Nursey, I mean, I don't know why the team didn't help her right there. There was like 3 people around her, but still Trim was able to get that final rocket onto him, and so that's going to be a nice uber advantage for Arcades here as the Spy is trying to make a play on the Engineer. He goes down. But yeah, so this is going to be a good situation for Norway to be potential to push out.
They've got 3 kills here. Medic's only just spawned. Katsy's gone down. Dementor's gone down. So they could push this. They have electing to go through choke with that sniper far back is a difficult choice because they're always risking themselves. Yosh has got a clear sight line on the Medic. Hasn't been able to pick in. The sniper's just trying to counter sniper. Meanwhile, the Uber's been forced. Norway have dropped 3 people, including Fanny and their soldier Trine, and their flank. The combo overextended so much there. Kresnik just hiding in the sewer.
Oh, and Spamfest takes down Arcades. Always gotta love the NG pick right there. But yeah, that was a little bit of a weird push out of Norway. Kresnik cleaning him up with the help of a little mini sentry, and then Spamfest comes through and gets that kill. So just odd push out of Norway. Just too few people, it seemed like.
I know they've elected not to use a pyro while Scumpy's not in the server. I don't know when he's going to come back. It's really risky to push through that choke with the sniper. They did actually manage to get through without the sniper getting anything, but their flank got absolutely obliterated as they came in because they hesitated. So
well, sorry, go ahead. I was going to say is that the USA had a really good positioning on that intro. They had 3 different players, a soldier, scout, and engineer, all spread out. So as soon as Norway came in on that second point, they were being tested. But as I say that, here comes Uber out from the USA side, already losing a few players pretty early in this fight. But so did Norway here. The engineer and the scout and pyro are trying to get on the point. Here we go, soldier as well. 58 times 1 on the point. They should be able to take this down as Medic's trying to jump onto it, but Norway not able to contest that nearly enough here as the first round goes into USA's favor.
Yeah, if I was Norway, that was a good push through the right, by the way, and they took over the lobby at the same time. I liked it, but if I was Norway right now, I would, if they have a chance to just hold second, I would elect it to take it, because it's going to be really difficult for them to get much done until they get their 9th player. We'll just see how they do on this mid. Better positioning from Fanny and Trine, but wow, their soldier took a lot of damage and Fanny's been forced off the top. This is going to really be about these snipers or this fight on the point. Early aggression from Trine is shut down very easily, jumping into a sentry and a defensive engineer. And there's a backstab from Arcade. This is going to fall apart for Norway.
Yeah, so here we go. Nice combo play by the Spy there with the help of his team, helping taking down Arcades, as well as pretty much everybody else. The Scouts are running into the last point. Fanny's the only one alive, as Nursey's going to be at 100% uber advantage, basically, as they're going to cap the second point. Probably, if they're smart, just probably just push straight through. I mean, everybody's alive. No real reason not to push.
Exactly. I'm just watching Dementor get into last. He's probably going to try and go for the heavy as they come in.
I think actually just might go for the medic. Look at this, not even looking. Arcades goes down there, nice backstab here, and that's going to open it up as USA is going to push straight through. Demoman actually going up behind the enemy lines as the engineer is going to try to do something, but he's basically by himself. Heavy and the Spy actually helps there, takes down Bobby, who's trying to get onto the point, but this Demoman sticking off the point, engineer and scout onto it, and nobody's alive on Norway's side to be able to defend that, and that's going to be 2-0 in the favor of USA here as we come into the third mid-fight.
Yeah, there's not much you could do. That was also the perfect time for USA to push. As soon as that backstab came in, so the Norwegian team is screaming Spy on comms, whilst an Uber comes into their face. It's been pretty one-sided. I expect this to be 5-0 very quickly. Let's see what they can do.
This mid-fight's, I don't know, I'm trying to see if Norway's actually able to do something. You know, it's kind of based off of Trim trying to jump over the top, get some rockets on, but he goes down right. Demento again kills Arcades. Andy goes down, Polar as well, and only 2 alive here, as just the engineer's the furthest one forward. I believe, actually, no, he goes down as well. And again, USA just wiping Norway as just, you know, emotionally, just, you know, even just in comms, I gotta imagine just a little bit deflated right now.
Yeah, being that player down would probably have more of a mental effect. I mean, it is a pyro is a valuable class as the 2 soldiers trade in rollout, but it's not a hugely effective class game. It just strengthens your team in different areas. So the fact I think their biggest problem in middle is the soldier and the scout are getting aggressive too early and not supported by their combo. Let's see this Uber from the right side, how that comes in. Jarrett's already managed to pick up the demo man too far forward, and they've got control of the point. So Norway have to come down to them, and here they are trying to make the block. Sigafoo.
Yeah, this mini sentry gun with the combination of the scout, nobody focused that far right hand side, or I mean like that far side. So that mini sentry and scout just did damage to anybody who tried to get on the point. And this actually is going to be a failed push for the USA side, giving Arcades a nice Uber advantage there. So really nice job in defense out of Norway, as it seemed kind of not really good for them as their Demo Man went down right away. But again, I think that mini sentry and scout combination helped Norway hold this. I wonder, the question will be if they push out with this. Oh, he almost backcapped that so close. Oh, I didn't even see that happening. Crazy.
Oh my god, like that would have been such a bad cap to lose if USA had got that one. Yosh actually loses the sniper fight again to Pistovania. I want to credit Pistovania and Polar got Demo and a heavy down between them in that last push. That was really key after the Ubers faded. So you say there was a bit of a sloppy push there, but they're in control of the game. They have Uber. They have time to sit on this lead, or they can just push. They can suicide people. What would you do?
Well, so, I mean, I just really want to bring it back to that push out of USA before. I think the thing that really was a detriment is that they had everybody push through one side. And so nobody focused on the opposite side of the point, which is exactly... I mean, all you need is one person to contest that scout, one person to do 10 damage to that mini-sentry gun, because it was on fire. It would have died. In that fight would have gone completely differently. And I think USA, they kind of keep pushing in everybody from one angle, which can be good to flood, but you also need to have that separation here. And then that back cap attempt by Demento actually really helped the USA, because any thought that Norway had of pushing out with their Uber advantage was taken away as Yosh goes down again, Pistol controlling the sniper fight. But you can't push out with 100% Uber advantage when literally all you need is somebody to tap that point to win the game. So now we're kind of at a stalemate here. USA in the lead right now, 2-0. But yeah, so how would you handle this situation yourself, Hildreth, if you were Norway? What would you do? Well, as they did get their 9th player into the server finally.
Yeah, I was just going to say Gompy has finally joined. This is it. Norway coming back to win this. 4-2. This is happening. In this situation, you've really just got to be patient. I know you're 2-0 down. I know you're playing the clock, but you don't want to just lose another round just by being impatient. You got to wait for the mistake. And here comes the medic. Polar was actually looking for Mercy, but Mercy just her back to the wall. Quite smart there. He did actually take Bobby down, but there's nothing cool for Polar. So they've got to just keep being patient. Maybe Pistovania can find something. USA, meanwhile, they're just looking for that opening, and they've got the sniper down. Pistovania, so they have more room to push. Looks like
it actually looks like. Yeah, USA is going to try to get into this final point. Scout, Demo, Pyro on this Uber charge as Demo Man jumping in. Jarek and some damage down. Actually, Uber is counterpopped by Norway here. It looks actually much better Uber, and this might be exactly what USA wanted, or maybe not. They're getting separated. Nursey's not with any of their players. Jericho is down here as the Pyro, Scout, and Spy are behind enemy lines. So that's going to create a little bit of distraction. Yosh getting some free snipes onto the medic, not able to connect anything here as Arcades is dancing around for his life. As the Spy actually goes in, takes down Gompy right there. I'm trying to figure out whose this fight is going to go in the favor of. It's been so back and forth. Blues in on the point as with the Spy. Demento does go down. Nursey in the fight trying to pull out the melee. Gets 2 saws but not able to get an Uber charge. And Blues is going to come out here. And what an incredibly odd fight turned out to be. Norway is somehow going to defend that. I don't even know what just happened, but Norway wins it. Yeah, I guess.
It was actually it was exciting to watch. It wasn't high quality TF2 though. Spawn of Polo came in, and Fanny came in at really good times for Norway to help out. The key thing you mentioned really early was the separation, the players in behind. When Kresnik came in to try and clean up, and they had 3 people behind, the soldier try and actually did a really good job of focusing Kresnik and getting him out of the fight early. So I think the key difference was the heals from Norway, and the fact that USA just didn't collapse properly or pressure the medic at all.
Yeah, no, I agree completely. One thing interesting right now is that Norway now has 100%. So Nursey went down right at the tail end of that fight. So Norway now has they had about an 80% Uber advantage when they 100%, but they're opting to hold on this final point. And I think when you're 2 down, you can't do that. I mean, you have to take that chance. Level 3 sentry gun is out on the 2nd point, but still, you have 100% Uber advantage. It's like you just had to felt like, what are you going to do? Because the only thing you can, if they're not going to push out when you have Uber advantage, when are you going to push out?
Yeah, they're basically dependent on USA to just completely mess up their push in an undescribable fashion.
Demento's actually in a good spot right now. Look at this. Oh no, he got caught out.
It's going to be a replay, then USA going to take this lobby. A lot of teams are favouring getting this lobby before they push, and that's why, because they can find these kills, and you've just seen the headshot from Yosh.
Yeah, there he goes. Yosh taking that headshot. As just look at USA just filtering in here. Nobody has died on the USA side as Heavy's onto the point, spamming everything. But look at this, a perfect push from the USA side. Didn't lose a single person as soon as Arcades dropped that Uber. And that's that passive play out of Norway is not going to win you games here in Highlander. Highlander is almost always about aggression, and I think they needed to take that opportunity after that wonderful defense they had. It's a shame they didn't at least take a stab at it as we are coming onto the fourth mid-fight. USA currently up 3-0. What do you see early here, Hildreth?
The Demoman's going right side, Andrea. He's trying to lock off. Jarrett's just sticking close to his combo. Here's the early aggression from the soldier. Gets shut down so easily. Blues just baits a jump onto nothing. Kresnik does get backstabbed though, so the fight does even out a bit, but here comes Bobby. Actually targeting something and getting out alive. That's really key, and Norway in a bad position, stuck behind their crates.
Yeah, Norway a little bit. Oh my goodness, only Arcade's alive here in this fight. So finally, this is the first 9v9 fight we had. So the real question was, can Norway actually do something? Look at how far USA is going for this medic here, going all the way to the final point. Just a soldier trying to defend them, as they are going to be able to keep alive. Arcades is going to get that 100% Uber, but I love that aggression out of USA, just trying to go all the way back for the medic here. As we're just getting a fight right away. They actually did the Uber. Yes, it did get popped off on USA side. That's a little premature here. As Norway actually probably didn't even need to pop this, as Jarrett does go down. And a couple down here for the USA side, Demoman included. So, I mean, I think you could potentially try to do something here, because you're not going to take sticky spam. But I don't know. What do you think about Norway's play right there?
The Uber wasn't very good, but from USA, but you have to push. They are pushing, but they're going slowly. If you were like 0-0 or 1-0 up and defending the lead, you probably wouldn't push in this situation. But when you're 3-0 down, you have to, like a Demoman pick, you have to go and try and do something off of it. And Norway's reaction kind of said it all about their team. The medic instantly went backwards after the Uber faded rather than forward. And they've actually lost their flank again. Pistovania's gone down, Polo's gone down, Fanny's gone down, so there's an opportunity for USA to take lobby and get Yosh in a position to snipe their medic again.
Yeah, so that's what USA has been doing a lot of, is they've kind of just been passively trying to take control of lobby, not allow anybody, and then they were trying to work Yosh in here, who gets a nice headshot onto Andy. But this is they are just kind of slow control. Nurse's holding against the wall to prevent it against any spy plays. Could potentially get sniped if the sniper took a really kind of awkward angle on that. But this is, I mean, USA is just they're looking for picks as they get 2 more right now.
Yeah, Fanny was playing really dumb there, just ran into like the combo of USA. Maybe he's expecting support. They did actually manage to pick off the big threat, that's Yosh, but they've lost 3 people for it, including the engineer, although he's probably on minis. USA definitely don't want to take any risks. You can see they're being very meticulous about their planning this push. Some people might be like, oh, this is boring, I'd push off that, but you got to think about it. It is smart play. You're 3-0 up, you're defending a lead in 15 minutes. Why would you take a risk of gambling with an early Uber? Although here we go, 3 more kills, including the Demoman and the sniper. But they do get forced from aggression, but they've lost half their team for this force. 6 players. This is not good.
Real life. Look at this. Jarrett is sticking off the point. Uber does come off from Norway, but they're not even able to get on point in time. As again, USA doing that. And I think that Norway, I mean, it feels like half their team wants to do something, the other half doesn't, and that kind of indecisiveness on aggression just kind of ultimately not helping them out at all here as we come into the 5th mid-fight. USA currently up 4-0.
Yeah,
so what are you seeing? Really... What do you think Norway needs to change in their mid-fight? What are you seeing?
Well, their flank and combo need to sync aggression. Like, look, Fanny's trying to get aggressive early. That's fine. See, when their soldier bombs, this is where they want to try and get more of a presence and then wait for some kills. Maybe their flank can get something. And the Dementor's actually come in and got the first kill of the fight. It's getting a bit easier though. Zimmer with that mini sentry.
Yeah, I mean, Jarrett and Kresnik go down, so the big class as well as Bobby Snow of those splash damage classes up for the USA, but obviously only 3 alive here for Norway, who are much worse off. Demento trying to do something, but that's going to spook Arcades to back up here as just the soldier alive here with the black box sitting in their own sewer. So the fight almost looked like Norway could potentially do something, taking down those big classes right away, but ultimately USA is going to take this mid-fight again for the 5th time. As it's now Norway's going to have the first opportunity to defend this 2nd point.
The value of like the kill from Demento there. I mean, he took out Pyro, but that's 1 player. down that the medic was left alone with. The value of killing him and Yosh on middle getting the snipes, you can't underestimate that. They're doing a bit more middle than their counterparts, but also Blues is cleaning up as well. So even if the combo doesn't have to be very effective for USA, as long as they keep their medic alive and protect them from like the spy and the aggression from the soldier, then USA should normally have enough to win. But finally a stalemate on second.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious to see. I mean, again, USA, they have no reason to push in this situation. I think they'd only push out of, like, just why not? As they do have a couple frags in their favor right now with the Pyro and Scout being down for Norway. That might be enough, as they are getting a little bit aggressive through this choke area, as Polar does go down as well here. And they're just trying to peek through as Yosh is just, I think they're just trying to get heal up Yosh and peek through as they're getting Kresnik buffed up as well to do something, but still kind of opting this, like, a little bit of gray area, trying to see if they can get something, but look at how far back Norway's playing. I mean, they're playing on point, but look at this Scout all the way up onto this point, and I don't know, I feel like Norway's just a little bit too passive.
Yeah, I suppose, but they've Demento with those 2 kills there. The Uber's used quite early, and the thing is they've lost their heavy. They do have a chance of defending this because they have a sniper alive and a demo man. So Norway actually have an opportunity to get stuff done here. Fanny needs some help on Kresnik, who's hiding around the corner and doing lots of damage, and headshots ringing out all over the field, but that's the repush in from the USA combo. They baited the Norwegians forward a bit, and well, you were saying Norway were passive. It's okay to be passive, or it's okay to be aggressive, but you just got to do it as a team. That's the key.
Yeah, I mean, it just felt like USA, they're peeking that choke area, which easily can be shut down. Or, I mean, I don't know, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I would say that's easy to shut down that with...
Yeah, there's 2 schools of thought. You can hold really close, but you got to do it as a team, or you can hold far back and, you know, make sure you've got all of your effective spam classes and sniper in really good position, which is risky, but it can also be effective because then their Ubers are going to be so far away from you. But the Uber in the left side, this is to win the game, Sigafoo.
Yeah, so here we come in. Uber from the USA side. Arcade's at 85%, just trying to keep alive to be able to defend this. Scout, Medic, and Demo over the top of this point. I don't know if anybody's really contesting this. Blues gets 3 kill streak right now. Uber does come out from the Norway side, but just shooting a mini sentry right now with this heavy Demo man. Jarek doing some crazy damage here. Yosh also gets a sniper. Kresnik taking down that mini sentry gun. Scout Blues finally comes in here, takes down Gompi, who was on heavy, I believe, and there we go. 5-0 in the favor of USA. And yeah, we instantly get a server change as I know the USA is on a little bit of a clock because they have some players who need to leave, but I mean, fairly decisive win out of USA. Even when it was 9v9, I felt like Norway's I never felt like they were in the game to like, it never seemed like they had a chance.
Nah, I agree. It would have probably been the same result even 9v9. The mid fights were all won by America. That was one of the key differences. We were talking about that, how we were holding second and how we'd hold second and third. Maybe that's a bit of the American school of thought there, coming into play about, you know,
Yeah.
really, because I actually like that idea about, you know, really being aggressive on the choke points. And then there's the school of thought where you're thinking we'll be far back, make them push into a sniper, keep our combo far away from them, make them work to get close to us. I mean, like I said, both can be effective, but
Right. I guess, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I am the kind of, you know, I think the American style of play, and I mean, again, it's like, you know, every kind of, everyone can work in different ways. It said it's the most important thing is that your team is in the same thought process on it. But I definitely think that holding aggressively and not giving up free ground is probably like the most important thing.
well, especially in Norway's situation when you're 4-0 down, you really want to be in that position to say where you get enough kills to push on and give yourself a clear opportunity. You don't have to waste time rotating to choke and then push in. That's why I'd favour doing that in that situation, especially.
Yeah, no, I agree, and it's, well, especially like you know, I mean, I think any good team, and I think EU or NA, which is basically like, if you give a team free ground, a good team will take it. Like, a good team will take any free ground you give them. And I felt like Norway, because what happened is Norway is holding a little bit aggressive. They could kind of spam that second point, but as soon as as soon as USA started pushing to that choke, working Yosh in there, getting him buffed up, Kresnik creating space as well for his team being buffed up as well, it felt like right away, like, oh, Norway's backing off. They're scared. They're a little bit, that damage is coming in. They're kind of backing off. And then they gave up more space. And then the scout ran in and created more space, And it's kind of like one of these things where it's like, you need to take the fight early or you're going to lose it. Because as soon as USA, like, started taking that ground, I didn't think Norway had a chance. Like, just because, like, USA was going to be in a better position with how much ground Norway gave up. But, again, I think it's just different. I mean, it can be different schools of thought. I guess, I don't know.
Yeah, I can see what you mean. And Norway kind of lost it there because their medic was far back, whilst Fanny and their demo man were trying to be aggressive and choke, and the fact that they got flanked as well was a big problem in that push. That particular push is very key. You could probably sit there and analyze it for ages. It's very interesting. It's very interesting to watch.
Yeah, because it just was a really slow. I mean, that's what I've kind of liked seeing the USA play today. Is they've been, I watched K&D yesterday. Really great matchup between K&D and DK, and I felt like K&D was a little bit too passive on 5CP, but in this circumstance, I think it's working out for them. They've been a little bit slower in their play style, but it's kind of interesting because it really allows you to see a play develop. It really lets you. It's not just something like, it's not chaos. It's not just a pure DM fight. It's truly strategy kind of going down, and you have that time to savor and appreciate it here as we are coming into the second map of this game, and I believe this is Product 8, but it looks just like Viaduct to me. Am I crazy or am I?
The name is like really poorly selected. It's meant to be short for product, but you just pronounce it like product. Everyone thinks that. What's this cough product? What's that? Is that like a new map? It's Viaduct.
That is the worst name in the
world. I know,
world.
it's terrible.
Who thought of that? Why would that be a good idea? Like,
I completely agree. It's a misleading name, but it is effectively just a new version of Viaduct.
Okay. Do you know any of the changes on this? So it's RC8 now. So do you know any changes from RC7 to RC8?
I never talk to Bubble Bobbler. When I need to know something, I talk to Bubble Bobbler. It doesn't look like there's any real particularly big changes. It's got to be like very minor ones, which I haven't noticed, to be honest. John's telling us they've added some, like a UGC Cup logo or something. Somewhere on the map, so it's cosmetic change mainly.
It's if you go to the hand wall, where the like in the middle, and you go through it. There's always a dog bread in there, but now there's a UGC cup as well here.
Oh, well, that's definitely worth a new version.
That is 100%. Hopefully, there's some other actual changes because that seems to change the name from Koth Pro Viaduct to Product, aka Product. I don't know if that's entirely worth the new map, as we are 18 in the server, just waiting Nursey to get onto the USA team, and we'll be into this. And honestly, K&D, who makes up most of this team, is incredibly good. Obviously, they're missing, I believe, their scout and Demoman Etney, who's been playing lights out this season in North America. But this is K&D's map. They are so incredibly good at Viaduct that they are missing some key players, so maybe that will give Norway a chance here. Maybe Norway can redeem themselves, but I'd be hard pressed to believe that USA is going to give up a single round on this map. It's
a shame. Maybe we'll see it later in the tournament, but I've really noticed a difference in style with Viaduct played in Europe and America, because I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but K&D favour a very, I wouldn't really say passive approach, but defensively they like to keep they're heavy behind the rock, that sort of thing, when they're holding the point. Whilst in Europe, teams are starting to favour more aggressive holds. So it'd be really interesting to see a difference in style. I think you're right, USA have too much ability, and Norway are just not a good enough team to be able to. I'm not even sure if Norway will even bring in the sort of aggressive European style that you see some of the top teams do. Maybe we'll have to wait for like a different team like France or somebody to play USA. That's another thing about this game, by the way, I should mention, is that this game is basically deciding who's first and who's second. So the advantage being the first place team will get to face inferior, weaker team in the second round.
Yeah, and also, the teams just get a little bit of a feel over each other, see how they play. I think that's always good because it's possible that they could meet in the playoffs and at least have a little bit of experience under your belt. The USA side, generally the hold you'll see is either the heavy directly behind the rock, or he'll hold on the cliffside. Bobby really favors kind of one of those two positions, which is the heavy on cliff is incredibly annoying to have to deal with. But yeah, I mean, pretty much USA has not done a forward hold style in a couple seasons now. It's kind of gone out of style. Like, you might see it, but it's pretty rare here. As we come into this second map, we're on Koth Pro Viaduct RC8 with the new UGC trophy, as we are finally getting this mid-fight. We had a little bit of technical difficulties there before, but we're getting restarted, as it looks like Norway's getting out here a little bit early as Yosh wins that sniper fight right away, and that's going to open up for the sniper duel right now.
Wow, it was really quick aggression from Norway. Like, Fenny and the soldier Trin just tried to get right behind earlier, picked blues out immediately, and the USA reacted really quickly to sort that out, and Jared's actually dropped. Wow, that was close.
Yeah, that was actually, Jarrett, the demo man, is not currently in the server, but I think he probably went down in that fight pretty early, but no matter, as USA did take down that first point, and Arcade's actually down 30% Uber. I'm actually kind of surprised about how much healing he missed off there during that fight. As actually Devento onto the medic. He looks like he wants to. He's right there. I guess he's not decloaked right now, as we're going to probably get our first engagement and just see how Norway handles not having the point, how they push into it, as Jarrett is still not in the game.
Yeah, we're going to see that the idea of this passive hold is to have a really strong defensive position behind the point on your side. And you can see, as Fanny has tried to get forward, he's been picked off. No, Spamfest with the frenzy justice kill, and the medics crashed. That's unfortunate for Norway. It was unlucky because they did manage to work themselves some position behind the rock, even if they were getting pressured hard from the flank. But yeah, that's going to be Norway going to have, especially with the sniper down Norway. You can see USA's reaction is to sort of flood the point and deny a bit more area. It's unfortunate, but it's actually an 8v8 game.
Yeah, a bit odd here, as Norway has not had a player switch back to medic. I'm not sure what's going on here. Jarrett is just reconnecting to the server. He's coming back on heavy, as Kresnik switched to demo man here, as Fanny is now switched his mechs, as we are having some weird glitches. It's definitely a shame that people are having some difficulty connecting here, as Nursey seems this 100%. So we'll see if Norway can get a suicide wave in, or something to at least try to get a force off onto Nursey, as Delman jumping over the top ends up getting the Uber out of Nursey, who did take a little bit of damage, but not terribly much. That's Kresnik coming in and trying to do something with the help of Bobby coming over. They do pick up a few kills, but I mean, that's what Norway wanted. They wanted to get that exchange. They're going to have to respawn quickly, and Fanny now is going to be at 65%, so ready for an Uber.
Yeah, it was actually a pretty good force from Norway, keeping their medic alive. So that worked for them, but the hard part is making the push work. I know they've got Uber advantage. This is the challenge, like, can they get in without using early? Can they get an effective Uber? Pushing the sniper, the heavy, look at that soldier jump. It actually trades with Bobby, and he actually goes down in the end, so in a fairly ineffective bomb. Look at it, they've lost the demo man before the push.
And so here we come in. Norway finally get the recharge off onto the point. They don't see Bobby. Look at, he's hiding his cliff right now. Finally, the heavy does spot him. He's going to go down for the trouble. Spamfest trying to get on this Norway heavy. He does go down as well, as Pyro is trying to reflect the point, but finally the point does go down in the favor of Norway, as Fanny was down to 40 HP holding behind this point. No heavy to give him a sandwich right now, as Norway now trying to get in their own, as Nursey also went down there to a nice stab by Polar. Did you see it?
Yeah, it was big plays from Polar. Well, after Spamfest got that kill on the heavy, like, Polar just managed to use the distraction to come in and get Nursey and another player. It was really, really good for him. So USA down Uber, so half a chance for Norway, but you can see America trying to come in without using. They've got their, they're taking the cliffside. They've got the sniper in a good position now. Their combos moved up through main. It's a bit of a fight on the flank, but USA are just getting this ground. They do actually lose Jarrett though. That's key.
Yeah, I mean, that's going to at least slow them down a little bit here, as Fanny, actually, the medic who's currently playing for Norway, went down pretty low. Its Uber charge does come out. Look at Nursey's positioning. A little bit caught out here. Is the Delman actually going to try to chase through? Does get the med pack back up to 150. Gets one sticky onto him. Is he going to be able to connect any of these loose cannons? Nursey's jumping around, but Kresnik helps defend, and that's going to keep Nursey alive as well with a nice Uber advantage here, as USA is going to repush onto this point, as Norway is only 3 players alive. Times 3 onto the point. 23 seconds left in the clock, and this is looking in the favor of USA to take this first round.
Oh, yeah, poor Endria. I feel for him a little bit because he was quite low on ammo when he took the fight with Nursey, but they lost quite a few people in their Uber. So really just to even chase the medic is a questionable decision anyway. But well played from Nursey to bait them. And here comes the last desperate push, not going to work. 1-0 to USA. I feel like Norway have half a chance of doing this. Like you could see that they managed to win one push against America there and gain a minute. But they really need more from their sniper because Yosh seems to be winning these fights.
Yeah, I mean, this is definitely, I think USA snipers in particular love this map here as Nursey is coming out with a Delman. As pretty much everybody from USA came out this rock side as the spy. Looked like he got cut up, but is able to keep alive as Arcades is back on this medic. And we're just seeing some trading and looking like it's a little bit in the face. I mean, Jarrett did go down there. No, nothing in particular. Demento comes in there with the bomb of Bobby, and look at that cleanup out of USA. Absolutely perfection as a spy, soldier, and scout come in, basically cleaning up all the classes. Arcades did go down there, and that's going to give Ursi a nice Uber advantage. And see, this is where you traditionally would see a forward hold, so many players down, Uber advantage in the favor of USA. But they're going to, as you said before, they're going to opt to play a little bit more passively and just hold on to the point.
I like this idea to keep some of your flank players forwards, like get your sniper in a good position, but keep the combat back. But you see, the slight weakness is it does open up the opportunity to push without Uber, because they know the combo is far from them.
Oh, Nursey went down to a backstab by Polar. Yes, keep with that thought process. Yeah.
I was going to say that.
Go ahead.
Sorry, I'm lagging, dude. You have to take over.
Yeah, so here we come back in as Norway now in a good position. Level 1 sentry, actually level 2 sentry gun in main as the Pyro Heavy Dylan as well are pushing on the point. Finally, you see that sentry gun, it's going to go down as it did take down at Fanny the scout here as Jarrett Kresnik go down. Nursey finally back up, able to get some heals out. But the big thing there is that they were able to retake that point without having to use their Uber charge as Arcade is going to come up on this 100%. And we're going to be able to defend this here. As now Norway not looking that bad in positioning. I mean, they're in a nice hold. They have Uber charge. And Hildreth, are you back to be able to talk this as Jarrett Pollard gets a nice stab on Jarrett there?
Yeah, I just had some walking around. It was being impossible to really commentate there. Yeah, Norway playing a lot better here. And Yosh actually loses a sniper v sniper, so that's that threat of getting your players instantly picked for the sniper gun. Level 3 being walked up to middle. It's smart from Spamfest. So Norway if Norway wanted to hold on the point, it's going to be really difficult for them. So now they have to do this defensive hold, which could work. USA have actually got that ground, but they've lost Kresnik. There's a bomb forward here, right on the medic's head.
Drop!
There we go.
What a bomb out of Bobby! What a bomb out of Bobby coming over the top. Nobody saw it coming, or at least it was too late by the time they did see it coming. Level 2 sentry gun protecting the point, and Nursey at 100%, but they were able to retake that for free off of that nice play from the soldier Bobby on USA's side.
I feel bad because I call Pistol Venue out to step it up, and he has got like the sniper down. He's dealing with the threat of Yosh Bella. But I just love the way the Americans are so meticulous in the way they plan and take grounds. It's not like they're just sort of like a couple of their players get suicide forward and die, combo follows up when they're a couple of frags down. They kind of they take ground together and they're aware of where the combo is. They're controlling the right areas until it's time to be aggressive, and they all follow up. That's what I like about their playing. Like when Bobby jumped in, they'd already pushed them Norway far back. And here's an Uber, and they've recognised the medic's closest time. They're actually going to go in. The medic's managed to escape, so it's a good play for the medic to be well positioned there. Arcadus. So it wasn't a very effective Uber for USA.
I think it was a good job out of Norway's players there. A couple of them died, but it almost looked like they threw their bodies in the way of the USA players. As the USA now under a minute left on the clock for them to win this game. As Soldier actually jumping in, gets one rocket on Nursey, but not able to get anything as this level 1 sentry gun is up in this main area. Uber does come off from the Norway side. Nice flashing there by the Norway medic. They're keeping their heavy alive, not taking any damage. As they're going to basically retake this for free. Actually, as I say that, here comes a repush out of USA team. Devilman and Soldier coming in over the top. Devilman getting some spam down here, but really good job by the Norway medic. Again, keeping his Devilman healed up, fully buffed as Arcade's down to 38 HP. Is going to back up here for a med pack, or is he? They're trying to keep forward. Norway somehow, some way is. It looked like they were going to lose that fight, but they did a good job holding on.
Yeah, but Nursey does have that advantage, and she and Bobby will know, and they were popped quite a bit of an early pop there, and Jarrett hasn't done much with it, but they've got ground on this left, so they pushed the flank back and for a couple of kills there. So it's going to be an interesting fight here. Jarrett actually gets sniped from Pennsylvania. It's going to be key, and the Uber comes out. It's really defensive Uber, good bomb by Bobby to get the force, and he's still alive behind him. That's going to be difficult. Can USA sink whilst Bobby comes in from behind?
Yeah, and you gotta be careful. Norway's so aggressive right now as the Delman goes down. Arcades gets backstabbed by Demento, and that forward hold out of Norway as soon as they try to recapture that point got punished for it. As Nursey's now going to be at basically a 70% Uber advantage. Point goes back in the favor of USA, and it's not looking good for Norway as they're going to basically have one more push to try to retake this as a soldier goes down for Norway again. He's going to come back up with these respawns as they are quicker since you do not control the point, but Pennsylvania goes down as well, so no sniping here. So they're going to have to push into Yosh, who's going to be uncontested for a few more seconds.
Yeah, the Americans, they're doing this hold. We were talking about like getting forward on the point. That was really the bad time to get forward when Bobby was bombing you from behind and the combo's pushing up in the front. Last try from Norway here, defensive Uber. They're actually getting some ground on the point, but I think USA should be able to clean this up because they are invincible after all. And there we go, 2-0.
Yeah, I mean, you have people directly behind the point. You had Bobby Kresnik on the cliffside who was spamming down. I mean, you have so many different damage sources where they're coming in that there's no way you can focus it. Really nice job by USA there defending that last push. They are currently 2-0 in this Viaduct match. This is the final map of this third round between these two teams. Again, it's a fight for first and second place in the group as we come into this third mid-fight. Delman coming out the same way as look at USA. Everybody came out through main. Fortunately, Delman did not spam that direction in the right time. As Norway's coming out of this fight, what are you seeing out of Norway? What do you think they need to switch up here, Hildreth?
Well, they've completely lost their scout and soldier really early. That allows Bobby and his scout partner to get forward and pressure the combo back. Which they're actually doing, so you can see the position from Yoshi gets the medic. I was just going to say the position from Norway is really defensive. They should win this middle. I was about to call USA for not being as aggressive following up, but yeah, they kept their medic alive as a result, so...
I mean, they did lose a lot of players in that early mid-fight, but fortunately Yosh's head snipe, that's going to keep them in it, as now they finally are getting back onto this point. Scout's bonking across the point. Heavy's in a weird spot behind it. He's so low, he's going to get killed there, as USA does take down the first point. As that's Polar, who takes down Nursey right there, so that's going to open up for Arcades, who's going to have these heal advantage over USA, but Bobby's looking to get something here on this concrete side. Decides to back off. Actually, he's going to get caught out. No, he's going to get out alive, but that's going to open up for Norway here to re-push as Nursey's still down.
Yeah, and Norway should definitely be pushing this. The medic's a little hesitant, and I worry about medics going right side because of that sniper sight line, but Yoshi's in there, so it doesn't matter. They're going to get the cap out of this. USA looks like they decided to give that up. Right, didn't seem to get the memo. He got caught out in the end,
yeah.
So Norway... chance to get back into this. I have to say Polar is keeping them in this game with these on Nursey. Like that's I think it's his third or fourth kill so far this game. Oh, Pennsylvania, too far forward.
Yeah, and then there you go. So no sniper here for the Norway side as they actually are 5 players down as USA. Actually, Nursey goes down again. How did that was actually to a double donk out of the Delman here, so that's going to be a pop out of Arcades just to keep this point forward, but Nursey struggling to keep alive in this third round. And this is actually not looking too bad for Norway. I thought they were going to have to give up that point, but Nursey has not been able to get an Uber pop off this entire game.
Yeah, that's unfortunate thing about the unlock, the amount of damage a double donk does. If you're on high ping and that weapon comes out, you have to be really careful. Look, 20 HP already just from spam. Gotta be really careful here and get a health pack. Jarrett gets picked by Polar. Pennsylvania gets Yosh. This is again looking good for Norway. They're actually ahead in time, and the Ubers are equal. So they're not really doing anything standing around here, USA, so Nursey's going to rotate. This is a good decision. What Norway have been struggling is their flank has been picked overextending as their combo's being passive. So that's what they've got to correct. The picks from Polar have been keeping them in the game, but they've got to keep holding all of their positions, not overextend.
Yeah, and actually, really good job by the Devilman on Norway getting that spam through that main area, getting Nursey down pretty low as Uber does pop off onto Jarrett here as the counter pop comes off on Norway. Pyro doing a good job on Norway's side, pushing him back. Devilman and Jarrett trying to get across the point, but here comes the Pyro. Katsy trying to do something onto the point. Fanny getting some nice damage. Yoshi trying to shut down Yoshi here as actually the frags are coming out in the favor of Norway. Here comes actually Soldier in over the top, tries to get some rockets onto Nursey, but that's going to be pushing her back here as Katsy does take him down. But that looks like it's going to be Norway who's going to hold on to this point as Katsy gets taken out by Pennsylvania. That's Nursey going down again to Fanny, the play in the backfield. So again, Norway's going to be able to hold on to this point. Only under a minute left on the clock as Arcades is going to be at a 60% Uber advantage, and Norway is looking in a good way to be able to take their first round.
Oh yeah, that was really smart from the Pyro, Andy. Separating Jarrett on the point so that they could pick him during the fight. They got all the position on the counter, but USA, you know, they're not messing around now, straight back in. They know the Uber isn't up for Arcadis. Norway playing it really safe. They want to get Uber. They're going to lose the point, but they do have Uber advantage. Arcadis drops the heavy. No, that's going to put them in a really bad position.
Oh.
That was like, all they had to do was execute that advantage and they'd be in a prime position to win the round there, and they just rushed it, Norway.
I mean, I think Norway, if I was Norway in that situation, I probably would have told my team, give up this, they started off in a bad position already. Medic didn't have Uber, they were too far passive. If they just would have gave up that point, you know, let them USA cap it, pull back 10 seconds, re-push as soon as they get Uber, the point would have been in USA's favor, but they would have been able to retake it. And USA has done that to Norway before, but it felt like Norway was trying to defend a point they didn't need to defend. You already have the time advantage. You have the Uber advantage. Arcades goes down again to Yosh. Here comes a bomb that counter bombs, and that's going to get a force on Nursey, which is exactly what Norway needed here. As they're going to get the respawns up pretty quickly, and Norway is going to have another attempt to be able to re-push on this point once they get reset. What are your thoughts on that? Do you agree, or do you think I'm wrong in my analysis on what Norway should have done there on that before?
I will agree with you because you're a pretty smart guy and you're normally right. Had I not just been lagging for the last 30 seconds.
As Nursey actually went down again to Pennsylvania, so that's actually going to open it up here for the Norway side, and they're actually going to get aggressive very early on as the scouts gain ×2 onto the point, trying to contest this as Engineer and Pyro actually get bounced back. Spy trying to do something, but he's going to get sniped by Yoshi. But look at all this Norway aggression onto the point. Jarrett goes down as the sprigs are going out in the favor of Norway. Arcade's at 75%, so they're going to still have this Uber advantage to hold on to this point if USA tries to push back. And a nice execution by Norway right there.
Yeah, I was lagging for the last minute, but the fact that Norway in a great position now, Sigafoo, they have the Uber, 10 seconds on the clock, just pop at just don't drop the Uber here, pop, keep them off the point, that's all they need to do. They're actually searching for frags forward, they found a few, but USA are collapsing here. Kresnik on the point, desperately.
Yeah, it's a bit of an odd situation for Norway as they were very aggressive, but it looks like they finally are going to clean up the frags as they are going to probably pull down this round. It's technically still is in overtime, but the respawns are just coming in for USA. Nobody's nearby, but yeah, that's a little bit odd. Norway actually searching for frags, as you said.
Yeah,
but they
could be effective.
I don't know, what do you think about that? What do you think? Do you think that was effective? Do you think that was the right call?
I like the idea of searching for frags, but they didn't get much done with their Uber. So USA had a chance to get on the point, but Norway just had a chance to collapse. That was the difference. 2-1 though, we have a bit of a game here, and straight away Yosh has stepped it up a gear. Sniper down, soldier down, engineer down. This is mid's over. Nursey gets picked by her again, but they're outnumbered to preserve the super advantage. They need to get out.
Currently loses actually onto the medic, actually 1v1 against this other scout who's being healed up, but finally Fanny is going to be able to keep him alive as Arcades is going to be at an 80% Uber advantage. And also, they taking that point before Nursey got up actually delayed her respawn by a few seconds there. They probably should have timed that a little bit better here, as Nursey just respawning, as now Norway's going to be able to re-push this, and they probably going to use their Uber, but they got to be careful, USA, not to lose Nurse this fight.
Yeah, here comes Nursey's out, nice and safe there. Don't overextend here, Norway, and they've lost Gompy, so this opens it away for a re-push for USA. Here they go, they're going to go through main, they're going to get this out using Uber.
Yeah, I mean, USA did a good job of just pulling out right away during that Uber charge. Now it's just about keeping Arcades alive. You're going to lose players here. Oh my god,
Nursey died to the Demoman spam on point. I think she must be really struggling with a high ping, because she called that out a few moments ago when she died on middle, but that death was really poor. You should normally be caught out like that at the medic at this level. Anyway, did you see that?
Yeah, I did, as NRYO actually just pushed in alone. I was actually kind of going to say, like, oh, maybe that wasn't a good play by the man, but clearly I'm in the wrong here, as Polar gets a nice backstab onto Jared. Kresnik goes down to know of the combo classes. That's going to open it up for Norway, who is going to re-push onto this point, basically for free, as Yosh trying to find something from this lower cliff side, but now Norway, again, in a really good spot. They have Uber advantage, they have man advantage. And now it's on to USA to get a Forcer to do something. And yes, I gotta tell you, if I'm in USA, if I was in their Mumble environment, I gotta imagine they're a little bit scared right now, as they're up by 1, but not by much, it feels like.
They're having to work hard. These kills on Mercy have resulted in the rounds, and she's struggling. The high ping, it's not easy to play medic. You really have to focus. I should speak from experience. Although, I'm not using 100 ping as an excuse. Uber out from Norway.
Yeah, and the big thing is he's got to keep Nursey alive in this exchange. This is what, USA wanted. They want to get that force out. Now Nursey's actually 97%. So many people are low. Finally, Uber does get caught off just in time to be able to keep everybody alive from the USA side as they are pushing across the point. Scout is the only one who's going to be able to contest this with the mini sentry gun in the Engineer. Actually, Fanny behind with Polar, helping that. That's actually going to take down Nursey right there. And is Norway going to be able to defend this point? That is absolutely insane. USA was in such a good position, but Norway holding out, and that's going to give Arcades a 50% Uber advantage here.
Yeah, they're feeling the pressure because that re-push, they lost 3 people to the Norwegian Uber, and normally teams will wait for the respawns and then push with the advantage, but they just went demo scout, they just went straight for it, didn't get much done with the Uber. There's a double kill on Demento and there with the double dong. Oh, I'm really starting to feel for her. Attempted re-push onto the point here by USA. They should be able to clean this up with patient play. The Uber, I don't know about that Uber. Do you agree with that?
That is a very questionable pop. I mean, you should only pop that if I think if you're going to die, even if your player was going to die, I would give up a player's life.
Yeah.
I'd rather give up the point, let my players die, hold on to the Uber advantage, and re-push than use that right here. At least the benefit of this is it's going to be about even Ubers. Nursey did only just come back up, so they're not going to be able to push off of it. This is actually going to be a high push out of USA, as there's only 40 seconds left on the clock. Look at the Scout getting onto that point, contesting it right away, as Jarrett is doing the same, but Norway trying not to give this up without a fight, as they're just inching the point. USA trying to do something here, but really good contesting by Norway right here. Zimmer, the Engineer, does go down. Spy tries to make a play. They're not able to connect with anything, as the Pyro is the furthest one forward. He goes down to Spamfest. Actually, no, that was Kresnik, as Pennsylvania does win the sniper fight, but USA is going to be able to retake this for free, as Nursey is finally able to find that 100%, but Arcades is now at 80%, and he should be able to re-push this.
It's really risky for Arcades to stay in with a sniper, because there's always opens an opportunity for someone to come onto Arcades, and it looked like there was an attempted play there. But yeah, they do have the Uber, 20 seconds on the clock. What is Arcades doing? Just backing up randomly as the spy went on. Oh, Arcades is milking this Uber, and it's actually worked out.
Yeah, the Bear, Lucas flashing out Arcades, absolutely beautiful, able to keep the heavy and Devilman alive, and so far for just pushing USA out, and they recapture this point. Now it's going to be on USA, 18 seconds left on the clock for Norway. USA has to recapture this point, and they have to recapture it soon, but Norway, so many low health players, and USA should be able to clean this up as Devilman does go down. Arcades is going to stay alive here, though. That's the important part, as they're going to stay that basically a little bit even Ubers, but Norway just needs basically one good push, and then they're going to have round if USA doesn't get back on the point right away.
Yeah, it's true. A minute with Uber is it's doable for USA, but they're under pressure, because they could go to 2-2 here. Really key push coming in. Arcades has been staying alive, has really kept him in there, and that Uber micromanagement. It's a little bit lucky that he didn't drop his combo classes, but Kresnik ended up dying in that. So if they can get a favourable exchange here, this could be it.
Yeah, Norway trying to just inch that point, trying to do something extra. Soldier and over the top, trying to do something, is able to get the force out of Nursey, did not go down. Arcade's now going to counter pop onto the heavy right now, as well with the Pyro who's getting forward ground. They're actually going to try to take this point, but they got to be careful. This is what it's all about right now. USA needs to defend this point. Spy gets a nice stab onto the heavy right here as the medic's going to be caught out, trying to run away with his life. Arcade's down so low, is able to get out that cliff side here in that med pack, but now it's on Norway. 19 seconds left in the clock for them. They need to get these respawns up, and they need to dry push this, as this final push is going to be basically the decider for the final two teams.
Yeah, they've got half a chance here. They have to go quickly though. Here it is, the last chance. Good opening frag from Jarrett. Oh, they're just walking into the stickies. This is gotta be a USA win here. Yeah, as soon as they walk into the stickies.
Yeah, only Spamfest went down. Demento went down there a little bit later, but really nice hold. USA had their back against the wall, but they were able to protect it or keep fighting as they do take this 3-1. But Norway, I'm really impressed by Norway there. I thought they played exceptionally well on that map, and especially being able to force or kill a Nursey so many times. I mean, I don't know. What do you think about Norway's performance on this Viaduct?
Considering their experience and sort of like the pedigree of the players involved on the team, that is a pretty good performance. Like Arcades didn't do very much other than just stay alive, really. USA were really outplaying them. They were really struggling to adjust, but then Norway they just kept killing Nursey, and they were keeping the medic alive and having the Uber advantage, which allowed them to trade Uber for the point, and then USA would try and re-push, and then they'd try and dry push, in fact, and then Nursey would die. And they kept losing their medic at really bad, inopportune times, America, which gave Norway a lifeline, but overall, the American team stronger deathmatching skills. I think that in that last push, when it got scrappy, Yosh actually died, so it was really on Pistonia to use that death of not having a sniper alive to get some kills to change the fight, but he just wasn't able to connect. But overall, good performance from Norway.
Yeah, I just pulled up the stats, so I can pass them to you here real quick. I think there's some interesting stat lines. Let me get your. Let me pass them to you on the Steams. Hold on one sec here.
Yeah, sure. I'll just have to say, I think the key player for USA was probably a combination between Jarrett, Yosh, Bobby, and Blues. Like they all had really strong performances. America and individually, Nursey's the only player you could really call out because she's a medic and dying a lot. But medic is a very hard class to play, especially on high ping. And when you die, you're really noticeable. Polar had a really good game, I have to say.
Yeah, Polar, I mean, he didn't, in the stat line page, he didn't look too crazy, but it always seemed like he was getting the frags at the right time. Even Nursey versus Arcades, Arcades actually died one more time than Nursey, but still, it doesn't feel like that. It felt like Nursey was dying a lot more, but I think it was the rounds that Norway was able to win, the final 2 rounds, it was because of those picks off of Nursey. Interesting thing here is Yosh sitting at 44 frags, top fragging by 13 frags against Pistolvania, but I mean, I felt like they were toe-to-toe there for most of the game.
The sniper v sniper fights seem pretty even. I'm just having a look at the stats to see how many kills they got on each other. Yeah.
Pistol actually 14 to Yosh's 10, so despite the frag advantage that Yosh had on the other players, Pistolvania actually came out ahead by a decent amount there, actually. I mean, 4 frags, I mean, against... That's still a lot. I mean, in terms of how many frags there were, that's impressive for a Pistol to be able to stand up against one of the best in NA.
Yeah, he got the run of the mill in the sniper fights, but once you have that sniper off the field, and you can't be pressured from across the map as easily, you really have to capitalize on it. I think when Yosh won those sniper fights, you could see Yosh picking up kill streaks. Pistolvania, fairly quiet, only 1 pick on the medic. I say only 1 pick, but still good. But Yosh got 4. There's a real game changers. Polar with those 5 mid frags. We were talking about that. That was quite big. Yeah,
absolutely. The only person who's close is Yosh, who had 4 picks himself. But also, what interesting is that Enryo, the Demoman for Norway, he had 3 medic picks himself, which is kind of unusual for a Delman to get so many medic picks. Usually he might start the damage, but somebody else cleans it up. But nice job by him. And a couple of those were most of those were the loose cannon, I believe.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Sorry, were you going to say something?
Yeah, I was leaving it open. But Hildreth, I know. How are you? Do you want to cast another one?
Oh yeah, but I've heard about Belgium versus Wales going on. I'm down for this. Yeah. The night is young, Sigafoo.
The night is young. All right, guys. Well, here, let me toss it to a break here, John, if you can do that. As we're going to, guys, stay in chat, stay here. We're going to be casting some more Nations Cup Season 4 for you, guys. We're going to be Belgium versus Wales, as we're going to switch it over, get all of our stats ready to go, and we'll be back shortly to present that to you. Stay tuned.